The Apostle Paul is without doubt the most important theologian in Christian history. Many of us would know Paul through his writings and the account of his missionary journeys in the book of Acts. Yet rarely do we think about the physical conditions Paul had to operate under to bring the gospel to the ends of the earth. My name is Tim Foster, and in this series I'm leading a small group of Ridley students to Turkey for a study trip of a lifetime. We will be tracing Paul's missionary journeys, not just by land, but by sea. Students won't just be passengers on our bus, but will be walking the roads he walked and sailing the seas he sailed. This is following in the wake of Paul. The ancient Roman world of Paul could not be any more different than the world we live in today. Understanding the ancient context of the Bible helps us to read it through the eyes of the ancient world and first century culture rather than our own. That's why Ridley College runs a Mediterranean campus and study tours which introduce students to the ancient world. Today, a group of Ridley students are retracing Paul's steps along the ancient road he travelled on his first missionary journey. This road, the Via Sebaste, took him from the port of Perge inland to the cities of Iconium, Lystra, Derbe and Pisidian Antioch.
So we're walking along Via Sebaste, and that's a road, a pretty significant road between Ephesus and Pisidian Antioch, I think, are the two cities, and it comes down here near Antalya, and they reckon that Paul would have almost definitely taken this road. So we're walking in his footsteps, almost literally. So I think I saw an outline of his Nikes before. So there we go.
Our expedition group today is led by adjunct lecturer Dr. Mark Wilson. Dr. Wilson has spent many years studying biblical archaeology in Turkey and is a field expert on Roman roads. With me is Mark Wilson, who's going to explain the options Paul had and why he thinks he took this route across the Via Sebaste. Mark, what were his options and why this road?
Well, there's really three ways to go inland from Perge. There's an eastern route that the modern roads follow today, but it's much longer and really is the road that goes to Konya, Iconium. So if Paul's going there, that would be the route. Others have suggested Paul goes directly up the Kestrus River Valley, up through a route that's well known, and there's some popular hiking trails today that use that same route, but much, much rougher, especially going uphill. I mean, it's possible that Paul came that route back from Pisidian Antioch, but this is the route you see in all the Bible atlases.
So this is like a Roman superhighway.
Exactly.
And they've got cuttings, they've got all kinds of things to preserve the road.
Yeah, this is the easiest pass for crossing the Taurus to getting northward. So the Romans were great engineers and they scoped it out and built the road, yeah.
You know, what I've noticed is that the Romans have done more than just create roads. They've created a system that allowed people to move along and around the empire quickly, safely and cheaply. They didn't just provide a road, but along the road, cisterns like this one to provide water. The Peace of Rome, the Pax Romana, meant that it was safe to travel. It meant that towns and villages like this one could pop up and offer accommodation to people like Paul and Barnabas. These roads were the arteries of the Roman Empire, and they were the arteries along which the gospel ran through Paul. However, it wasn't just the roads that aided Paul in his ministry. When Paul wanted to evangelize, he would travel by road through towns and marketplaces. But when he needed to get somewhere quickly, he would take to the sea. Paul travelled over 3,000 miles on his missionary journeys, half of it by sea. So as we trace Paul's third missionary journey and his captivity journeys, we're going to take to the sea like he did, sailing the southern Turkish coastline and calling in at the same ports that he changed ships at Patara and Adrianaki near Myra. We're renting 2 old yachts and taking 11 students on this exciting journey. None of them have any sailing experience and none of us are sure what to expect. With me is Senior Minister from Glen Waverley Anglican Church, Phil Mulman, who, like me, has been sailing most of his life. We will each skipper a boat and hopefully turn these landlubbers into seafarers along the way.
Have a nice week in port. See you in Australia.
The students are doing well and are grasping some of the basics of sailing, even having a go at steering the boat.
So get yourself going.
In these ideal conditions, it only takes a few directions and they're in control. Sailing skills are easy to learn. The real challenge on a large boat like this is learning to work as a team.
Are you having a good time, Charlie?
Yeah, I am. Actually, I had very low expectations. So I was quite nervous before, but so far so good. I'm learning about sailing and there's a lot of words I don't understand, but Tim's a really good captain, so we'll see how we go.
This coastline with its limestone formations and huge mountain backdrop is stunning, secluded and tranquil. While there's no danger here, in ancient times that was not always the case. This coastline was once plagued by pirates. In the 3 centuries before Christ, whole pirate navies patrolled these seas, looting cargo, kidnapping passengers and destroying ships. Trade stopped and wealth plummeted. For decades, the Romans lacked the will to rid the seas of this menace. But by 70 BC, the pirates were attacking the coastlines of Italy, and the expanding Roman Empire needed the seaways clear to promote trade and to bring vital grain from Egypt to Rome. The brilliant General Pompey was granted unrivaled authority and a huge fleet of ships to deal with the problem. It took him just 49 days to rid these seas of this menace. Waiting for him in Rome was a great celebration, a triumph for the general. Well, pirate ships still ply these waters. Only instead of pirates looting, burning and pillaging, we've got tourists from Germany, Russia and Britain drinking, partying and dancing. They call these waters the Turkish Riviera, and it attracts millions of tourists every year. Meanwhile, we arrive at our first night's anchorage in the beautiful Coldwater Bay. We're greeted by the ice cream man who takes a line to shore to help us moor the boat.
Oh, he's the ice cream man.
Just when we're beginning to enjoy the serenity, the other boat turns up. It seems that Phil hasn't had quite as much experience parking a boat as I thought.
Oi! Go that side of me! You're an idiot!
We've got boat rivalry already. How's this happening?
He needs to be dropping his anchor about 10 minutes ago.
Again!
Phil, you need to start your anchor about two-thirds of the way across. Can you help my friend here?
Okay.
How much more?
They're very smelly. We don't want them too close.
More.
Eventually, with the help of Ice Cream Man, Phil's boat was able to drop the anchor the right distance away and safely moor next to us, but not too close.
You bet. Well done, crew.
And so it was time for a well-deserved swim and to find out why they call it Coldwater Bay.
It's really cold.
Is it really?
It's not cold water.
Okay, guys.
Enter Libby's Christ to Dies game. So.
Enjoying yourself?
I am. I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. I've been seasick and it's all very beautiful.
We finish our first day with dinner under the stars. The students are looking more relaxed and seem to have found sailing easier and more fun than they expected. But with a big day ahead of us tomorrow, we'll need an early night tonight. In the next episode, we take our sailing skills to the next level and we anchor at an ancient site where students have to explore its ruins themselves for an assignment. All this and more on Following in the Wake of Paul.